Welcome, everyone. We are live, and it is Friday. Yes, it is. Listen, your girl is tired, okay? But that being said, that being said, make sense from nonsense. That's the title today. That is something my grandfather used to say to me. He said, "You got to be able to make sense from nonsense." Make sense from nonsense. Meaning that when you hear or read or encounter something that you think is nonsense, don't judge it. Learn something from it because there's a message in it, eh? There's something in it that you need to know. You might think it's nonsense, but the person who is saying it, well, they know what they're telling you. You know how we speak in code? Eh? That seems to be nonsense, doesn't it? The speaking code seems like nonsense. It really does. But if you understand what is being said in the code, if you understand the coded message, but then it isn't nonsense, is it? Wow. So make sense from nonsense. Let us begin. A lot of people ask me, Angela, why do you use the Bible? Wasn't that used to indoctrinate humanity? Make sense from nonsense. How many times have you heard a song and you're like, what does he mean by that? And they speak in code in their songs. They use metaphors in their songs, which seem to be nonsense. Yes? So let's use a scripture. Let me flip there. Hold on. This one is Matthew 24, verse 42. Therefore, keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come. Keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come. Pardon me. So when you hear keep watch, for you do not know what day your Lord will come. For the person who interprets that as Jesus or scripture of the second coming, some people interpret it as such. But when you are told, therefore, keep watch, what are you supposed to watch over? Watch over your thoughts and your mood. Why? Because from that mood, you create your experiences. Pardon me, I'm going to stop saying create. From your mood, your mental attitude, you give birth to your experiences. So when you are told, therefore, to keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come, means you don't know when that experience is going to show up in the world. You don't know. Every day that you engage habitually in a particular line of thinking, every day that you engage in a particular type of mood, you are bringing about your Lord. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. So when you're told to keep watch, you keep watch over your thoughts and your moods. Angela, that is so far fetched. That is why one learns to make sense from nonsense. How many songs have you heard? How many stories have you heard? Hmm? We've heard of Beauty and the Beast. We heard of Snow White. We heard of Cinderella. We've heard of Cinderella. And some people realize that they have wicked stepmothers and they're like the pretty stepdaughter who she grudges, and they see themselves in that story. They don't walk around saying, well, I don't know when that story happened. I don't think that story is real. Oh, wait, let me end my existence because of that story. They don't do those things. They see themselves in the story. So, which story in the Bible do you see yourself in? It is just a story in which we judge. We judge one another depending on which story we believe in. But if you notice something about humanity, we may believe in the story, but we don't apply the story. We believe in the story, but we do not apply the story. It is a metaphor. Sometimes it seems like absolute nonsense. But if you learn how to interpret the sense out of nonsense, do you grasp what that means? It means where in there did something resonate with you that you can apply it to your life? You notice how humanity mostly uh they mostly play out the negative portions. Oh, oh yes. Well, they know how to interpret those ones. And they do so physiologically, meaning they do so with themselves instead of doing it mentally. Every single time I hear the scripture that says to me, do not grow weary in doing good. At first, that seems like nonsense. What do you mean, don't grow weary in doing good? Because if you do, it depends on where you do the good from. What mental attitude are you doing the good from? If your mental attitude is to please another because of fear of abandonment or rejection, well, then you will grow weary in no time at all. Let that person not call you. Oh, let that person not go out with you. So then I tell you, the true saying is pick sense from nonsense. To pick out the sense, pick out what is valuable, and you throw away the rest. So today, my beautiful friends, when you hear scripture, that is not your cue to get your back up against the wall. Use it for what it is. That's what it's telling you. You simply read it. And then you ask yourself, how do I relate to that? Well, when you hear, take, this is my body and eat it. Take, drink, this is my blood. That seems to be nonsense. It seems to be nonsense. But if you learn how to make sense from nonsense, take my body and eat it. See, when you take on the traits of someone, you are embodying them. So all they're saying is, who are you embodying? Who are you modeling yourself after? It doesn't mean to become a cannibal. This is why you make sense from nonsense. Where can you apply these things in your life? Instead of judging the story, it is only a story. Listen, if I wanted to encrypt a message, I would tell it to you in a story format. Look at what humanity does. All of humanity's songs. Well, there are some of them that are blatantly obvious. They don't even mask it. They don't even hide it. They tell you my booty what and my butt what. You know what? I'm done. There's no art of playing with the words anymore. So that it can come out to the listener like, what? That doesn't make any sense. What are you really trying to say here? I got me a new song that I'm loving. And if you hear the symbolism in the song, you're going to tell somebody that they're like a little white church on the corner of Mississippi. A front porch light that feels like home. Listen to it. Sometimes it seems like it's nonsense. 1, 2, skip to my loo. 3, 4, shut the door. Seems like nonsense. But they're telling you something in there. And the moment that we get our backs up and we say, and we argue, trying to defend, it wasn't put there for you to defend it. It was put there for you to make sense from the nonsense. But because we get so caught up in whose God is real and whose God is not real, can men submit? Do women submit? We're missing the whole meaning of existence because we are taking the nonsense and trying to apply it. When you comprehend the nonsense, it becomes sense to you so that you can apply it. Barbados has a lot of sayings. We ain't catching past you. Well, I am speaking English, don't worry. What hasn't caught you doesn't mean it's past you, right? So because it didn't happen to you doesn't mean it can't happen to you. Or night is run till day catch it. And you're like, what? What do you mean night runs until day catches it? Day always becomes night, night always becomes day. Which is telling you can't outrun the night and you can't outrun the day. You can hide and buy land, but you can't hide and work it. Seems like nonsense. But if you learn to comprehend the nonsense, it becomes sense. But what do? See, we judge the nonsense instead of interpreting it. Thereby we miss many things. So that when you hear, therefore keep watch, for you do not know when your Lord will come. You're like, huh? What Lord? When in actuality it's telling you, keep watch over your moods. Because when you keep watch over your moods, you will know what is coming. You won't know when, but you know what. So if your mood is one of peacefulness and you persevere in that, you persist in that peacefulness, you don't know when you will encounter it on the exterior. You don't know. All you know is that you will experience it on the outside because it is the inside that reflects. It is the inside that casts the shadow. So today, make sense from nonsense. Right? When we call it wit, I guess. You know, you're witty. The mighty Gabby has incredibly witty lyrics. Listen, he incited an entire population to go to the beach when the government was trying to ban Bajans from going to the beach. Talking about we need to privatize beaches. If you live on the waterfront, then you own that piece. Nonsense. Putting up a fence so that nobody who lives there can go to the beach anymore. How you gonna come and find the planet and lay ownership to it? You don't know how it got here, right? So he incited a whole island to get up and say, we going to the beach. But in his song was pretty obvious. His song was obvious. It was so obvious, yet it seemed like nonsense when you were singing it. The beach is mine, I could bet any time. In spite of what he said, I can bet anyway. Huh? It just seems like nonsense. But to the listener who interpreted the sense from it, this is why the government banned his music off the radio. Because they knew, well, for anybody who's really listened to the song, that's going to be trouble for us. So they banned it so nobody could hear it. Mm? What other songs do you know? What other songs do you know? If you listen to them, you will hear the lyrics. Sometimes the lyrics are so, right? Are so coded with metaphor that if just the average person is listening, you would say, well, that's nonsense. But for the one who pays attention, for the one who watches, you'll see what's happening. You will see what is happening. So when you hear, don't put your lamp under a bushel, put it on top of the hill, you would say, well, duh. Of course I'm going to put my lamp on top of the hill. That's what you would say if you got stuck at lamp. Clearly nobody puts a lamp in the bushes, right? So they must be telling you something to get you to listen. This seems like nonsense. Look at how many things are overlooked because we say, oh, but the Bible. And some people will argue you that the Bible is nonsense. The Bible is a tool to indoctrinate. Yes, so what? It is actually, if you use it correctly, instead of projecting outward what that stuff says, what does it do to you if you apply it psychologically? When you hear do not grow weary in doing good, it doesn't mean to allow yourself to be a doormat. Oh, heavens, no. Because that is the fastest way to be worn out. So it can't be telling you to be a doormat. What is it telling you? And it doesn't tell you to suffer either. When you hear count it all joy, well, that sounds like nonsense. Well, how am I supposed to count these tragedies as joy? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, but if you know how to interpret the nonsense, you can do what? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Do not grow weary in doing good. Do not grow weary in doing good. And then you ask yourself, but what is good? You don't grow weary in it. Why not? Because you know the outcome of applying the principles deliberately. To summarize how the principles work, you reap what you have sown. You can't reap something else. So that's why, like I've come across whole rooms about calling people stupid for quote unquote reading the Bible, believing in the Bible. When in actuality, if you treat it the way you treat a song, the way you treat a story, how do you get a kid to learn something? Put it in song or tell a story. So that what? The child can see themselves in the story. And when you see yourself in the story, now it becomes relatable. Whereas if you're just listening to it, it's just like, that's nonsense. That don't make any sense. What do you mean he looked at the fig tree and told it, oh, I'm hungry and you have no fruit? Die, fig tree, die. And it withered and died. Wait, what? What? Where's the sense in that? But if you make sense from nonsense, you can look at something that is not productive that you are doing in your life and tell it, no, you will not do this anymore. And watch what happens. That old thing dies. No longer drawing your life force from you because you keep doing that crazy thing that doesn't feed you, it just starves you. And you can look upon it and say, die, old habit, die. There's a new habit in town. You got to learn to make sense from nonsense. Instead of judging it. I'm flipping through the Rolodex of my mind to find you other analogies. You see, an analogy is this story that you tell someone that causes them to see or to understand. That's what the analogy is. But the analogy is told in such a way. This is why Jesus spoke in parables. He told a story. And he told that story. And because the Pharisees and the Sadducees could not make sense from nonsense, they took it literally and did not comprehend the message. They judged the message instead of interpreting it. So, what are you going to do today? People invented a whole language called Pig Latin. Don't ask me how it works because I don't know. And it just sounds like gibberish to the untrained ear. Ah, you see? It may seem to be nonsense. Man, Bajans are the best at that. They could be standing up and having a conversation with a friend and totally insulting you, and because they're telling a story. Man, I was down the road the other day and I got this dog. I got this dog that won't leave me alone at all, at all, at all. Every day the dog at my house, barking and making enough noise, trying to get my attention. Now, if you don't know that person, you'll be like, what? What do you mean you have a dog at your house and it's there bugging you all the time? If you understand the nuance of the story, he's telling you there's somebody there that's bugging him all the time. There's another saying, when someone doesn't want to go home, you ask them, hey, you got lions at your door? Well, clearly there's no lions in the Caribbean. So how are you going to have a lion at your door? That doesn't make any sense. But if you pick sense from nonsense, you would know that the lion represents a problem at your house that is keeping you from going there. So this is the beauty, eh? When you read scripture, there are some things in there, you know, if you flip through the Old Testament, when you hear the story of Jacob and Isaac, I think it was Jacob and Isaac, and God said, I want you to build me an altar and sacrifice your son. You're like, wait, what? I don't understand. I do not understand because that is nonsense. What do you mean? You want me to build you an altar and sacrifice my son? My son? My son? Well, that's absolute nonsense, sir. Well, what did he do? He took Isaac with him up to the mountain and they were building an altar. And Isaac was like, but, Daddy, why are we building an altar? Where's the lamb for the sacrifice? I don't see no lamb for the sacrifice, Daddy, so why are we building an altar? Jacob turns around and says, just keep building and I'll tell you all about it. Okay, Daddy. Until he finally says, well, Isaac, darling, lay down on the altar because you are the lamb for sacrifice. Listen, he must have had some chloroform because you're not going to tell me to lay down so you can kill me. and I'm going to let you? No. So clearly the story is appearing to be nonsense. But now pick sense from nonsense. You have something in your life You have something in your life that you deem to be so close, so you are so in love with it. It means so much to you. It means so much to you. So you lay it down. Just put it aside for a moment so you can see clearly. Because look at how the story turns out. Man was caught in the bushes. Which would tell you that if you put aside the thing that you deem to be so important to you, you will see the way forward. You will see the path open up for you. So when you're struggling with something and it's got you consumed, you say, whoa, I can't see straight. Let me sacrifice this for a minute. Just let me put it aside just for a moment so I can see clearly. But I've seen rooms opened up asking people, would you obey God and kill your child? And I'm like, oh, for God's sake, here we go. Here we go, arguing over nonsense. One does not argue over nonsense. One interprets nonsense. Allegedly, because I wasn't there. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children, wade in the water. Seems like nonsense. Yeah? But the message was clear. A dog cannot pick up your scent when you are in the water. It needs land. Mm. So if you wade in the water, you can't be tracked. Oh, interpret the nonsense. We had one, I will meet you in the morning, meet you in the morning with a how do you do? And I'll wait down by the river, wait down by the river and greet you with a how do you do? Oh, look at that little ditty. Seems like nonsense to just the untrained ear. But the message is clear if you know how to interpret the nonsense. Listen, I'm going to meet you in the morning. Here's how I'm going to greet you. When you hear, how do you do? That's me. That's your cue. And here's where you're going to meet me, down by the river. You see, we judge too much instead of interpreting what we call nonsense. So then the Bible tells you the wise man builds his house upon the what now? The rock. You would know as well as I would know. Rock is real hard. You have to dig a foundation, y'all. How you gonna go through rock to get the foundation? We don't have any dynamite. Oh, seems like nonsense. The wise man builds his house upon the rock. You anchor yourself, you build upon something that is immovable, which is the principles. You see, when the waves come, yeah, the sand gets washed away, it becomes eroded. So situations in life, they come, they happen, which is natural. But if you are anchored to the principles, no matter what comes, you're not going to get washed away. Why not? Because you know that you can say, wait a minute, how do I want this situation to turn out? What would I be doing in reality? What would I be doing? Let me rehearse what I would be doing. And you sacrifice the old way of thinking, because you know that the new way of thinking has the lamb caught in the thickets for you. You know that when you take your attention and you put it upon that which you are projecting outward, well, you know how it's going to turn out. So do you have to fret? Nope. Do you have to worry? Nope. Why not? Because you know how to pick sense from nonsense. That is why. So when you go out into the world, eh? Liza, darling, I see you. Oh, hey, girl. When you go out into the world and you hear of wars and rumors of war, and you're looking out there and you're saying, but it is nonsense to just go kill somebody. Why would I go do such a foolish thing? And you're like, but that would be nonsense. But now you make sense for me. You say, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You want me to go to war for you. For you. You're not willing to do it for yourself, but you want me to do it for you? Oh, no, sir. You don't value my life, but I do. So what do? They sprinkle some education and some perks in there so that you will go and lay down your life for someone and you don't know why. Because instead of interpreting the nonsense, you judged it and said, "Oh, look, I can really use this. Let me go sign up for the army. Look at how many perks they've got." Oh, okay. Go ahead with that one. Sure. Because I'm telling you, if everybody stayed home and said, "No, I don't fight in wars," would there be war? In order for there to be war, you need soldiers. But a soldier does not just go and volunteer for their death because everybody likes life. So now you've got to convince them of something that is worth dying for. No thanks. I'd rather live for you. Prince had a song, I would die for you. I always ask myself, but wouldn't it be better if you lived for me because then we could hang out and we could be friends and I wouldn't have to cry over the fact that you're not here anymore. I would rather you live for me, sir. Bruno Mars said the same thing. I will catch a grenade for you. No, thank you. Put my hand on the. What? Are you kidding? Oh, thanks, but no, I will pass. But the question is he being literal or is he being figurative? Hmm. Hmm? If you take it literally like I do, I would not be doing any of those things for you. No, no. I would rather teach you so that you can change your life as opposed to getting down in the dirt with you and suffering with you, and then we both suffer. No, thank you. No, because that doesn't benefit anybody. So we always do this as people. We write these stories, we write these songs, right? We do. I was listening to that song last night, my new favorite song, and I just marveled at how beautiful humanity really is. I'm dancing in the aisles, mopping, I'm dancing in the aisles because I'm playing my song. And I marveled at how beautiful humanity really and truly is. to take something so painful and make it sound beautiful. Oh, we have a skill. We have a skill at transmutation and we don't even know. And people always say, well, yeah, if you never experience heartbreak, how can you write a good song? You don't have to have experienced heartbreak to write a good song. You have to experience love to write the better song. I want you to think about that for a moment. I don't want to digress too much. Right? He says, you're a diamond in a rhinestone world. That's what he says. You're a diamond in a rhinestone world. Is the world made of rhinestones? Because that would seem like it's nonsense. But what he's saying to you is, where everything just seems so glittery and you can't tell what's real anymore, you're the real thing. Learn to interpret the nonsense so that you don't fall prey to the lie. I don't know if that's making sense to you this morning, but I know, because yesterday I said, what do you want to talk about on Friday? I always ask that question. What do you want to talk about tomorrow? But you see, yesterday, this was so vivid to me that I remembered it. I didn't get up and go, what did you say again? I forgot. Nope. Because people always ask me that question. How do you expect people to take you seriously when you quote scripture? Scripture is so archaic. Look at how your people were abused by scripture. Learn how to interpret the nonsense. It tells you, slaves, obey your masters. Your what now? Your master. Oh dear. It also tells you that you can't serve two masters. That doesn't make any sense. You can't serve two masters? But if you get up and you argue, sir, I don't have a master. I am free. Oh Lord. He's awake this morning. He is on one today. Woo. My rooster has a whole new attitude. We'll talk about that later, but whoo. Obviously, if you interpret this, the serving of two masters, you will recognize that it's telling you you must focus on one thing. Well, a house divided against itself can never stand. Well, clearly you must have unity. But unity where? Unity with self. You must be unified within yourself. So if you are unified within the self, if you have unity within, as within, so without, division remains because we as individuals are divided within ourselves. We have too many things at war within. So how can we have unity? How you gonna build a community when you have not formed unity within? You haven't unified yourself. Well, how does one unify themselves? You stop being pulled to and fro by the opinions. on the outside and hold fast to one thing. That is what you do to gain unity within. Unity is a oneness, so you must be at one with yourself. Funny, there's another word that is just like that, atone. And we think atone means to pay a price. No, it means at one with yourself, not divided in your thinking. Yeah, but if I do this, they'll like me. All the while knowing that the thing that you are going to do to make them like you goes against your very self. You are not at one within yourself. So pick sense from nonsense. Yeah? Learn how to build unity within the self. Meaning, because scripture would also tell you, let your yes be yes and your no be no. I know that window in his room is open a little bit. Oh, my word, my neighbors. Oh. Let them not hear him over the hum of their air conditioners. But roosters are going to do what they do. Roosters will do what they do. And I'm all right with that. So you see, you must become at one with yourself. Peace on the inside, meaning you don't allow your feathers to be ruffled by the opinions on the outside. Oh, but look at you. Oh, you think you're special? Oh, dear. Bless your heart. You know, you hear those things and you start to have something churn within you. And you say, but why don't you like me? You have to like yourself. Well, how do you like yourself? By realizing that it's you in that body. Just you. And it is what it is. Eat, rest, most of all, bathe, comb your hair. Not because you want to look good for somebody else, but because you have to be with you. How you going to walk around and have flies? Come now. Nobody wants flies. Bathe. Brush your teeth. Not because you want to be for somebody else, but because you have to be around your own self. So behave in a manner that you like being around. So sometimes when you hear the quote unquote nonsense, learn how to interpret the nonsense, thereby making sense from nonsense. And I know that some of y'all think I'm crazy. I don't think you are. No, you are. I fully embrace what I am, okay? If I'm nuts, well, these nuts. I'm okay with that. Because think about it. If you spend your time trying to appease the masses, you will rip yourself to shreds because there are far too many opinions to appease. If, however, you appease yourself with your own opinion of yourself, well, here you are at one. You are unified. And if you have unity within, I wonder what you will experience on the outside. Unifying experiences. Because it is what is within. So today when you go out into the world, instead of turning up your nose at what we would call the stench of Scripture, because Scripture's a lie, I am not here to tell you if it is a lie or truth. I am here to say, pick sense from nonsense. What can you apply? You notice how you can quote Confucius? You can quote Scripture. You quote the things that resonate with you, that you apply to your life, and you see the change. But because our vision has been tainted, bastardized, for lack of a better word, some of us would say, oh my God, I can't take you seriously. You're out here quoting scripture. I don't even believe in a God. I'm not asking you if you believe in a God or not. I'm asking you, what do you do to change your life? We out here busy in these streets fighting about whose God is real and whose God is not real, all the while wallowing in the stench of our own self-pity. You're missing the point. The point is to look in the mirror and do you like what you see? And I'm not talking about your features because I'm not speaking about a physical mirror. I'm talking about the psychological mirror. Do you like what you see? Do you like how you behave? Do you like your present experience? But because we judge, oh, I can't live anymore. I can't live if living is without you. What? Wait, what? You can't live because you don't have somebody? You better stop. See what I tell you? We write all of these beautiful love songs, these heartbreak songs to express ourselves, yet not truly going beneath to say, wait a minute. If I feel like my life is not worthy of living because, well, I'm single and nobody wants me, well, then I must not have any value. What? Wait, what? Listen to what you're saying to yourselves. And then because we're feeling a little sad, we go and we find the saddest song we can hear. And we close all the blinds and we turn the lights off and we cry in the corner. Instead of metaphorically looking in the mirror to say, wait a minute, all life is precious. And that means so is mine. And if I value my own existence, well, I will live in such a fashion that says to me on a daily basis that I am valuable. And a funny thing will begin to happen when you start doing that. Well, as within, so without. You start to value your own existence. You value the existence of other things and other people. Naturally. Who's here with us this morning? I know my dear Liza is in the house. Dear Liza, dear Liza. Big Mike is in the house. There's a couple of you here on these YouTube streets, but only you two have said hello to me in the chat. That's all right. I see the others. Well, Twitter is as Twitter is. Fan base, who is kicking it with us this morning? Hello. Well, your girl. Listen, I had to scroll all week long. Afternoon delight. Yeah. Summer rose. You know, every time I walk by my rose bush out front, I smile and I say, I wonder how Summer Rose is. I really do. Girl, you can't make this stuff up. Whew. Oh, my sweet Miss McQueen. Hey, girl. Your chicken is broody, Miss McQueen. Listen, you better come for your girl. Anyhow, Jessamine, hey. Flo Smiles, hello, kitty. I see you. Oh, you Miss Deborah. I see you. Oracle Tree House. Guys down happy is in the house. Ray Ray. I always remember Ray Ray from Princess and the Frog. He learned how to do that song from his cousin Ray Ray in the Bayou, but you know, I digress. I digress. Oh, viewing pleasure is all the way from DC. Hey, it's good to see you. Listen, YouTube is telling me I've been yakety yakking for about 54 minutes. Girl, you on a roll. I can't with myself some days. But you're going to go out into this world and you're going to hear things. You're going to see things. Oh, yes, you will. But learn how to interpret the nonsense. Because there's a lot of that going around. I keep reading about these people telling you, stop following these influencers on YouTube talking about manifestation. I just spent so much money. And I thought to myself, wait a minute. As within, so without. There's a saying that a fool and his money are soon parted. What is within you that would make you think you can't figure things out? An insecurity. Oh, but you want to blame the guru. You see, this is the problem with blame. Don't blame anybody. Look at yourself. Don't even blame yourself. Just look. You can learn from anywhere, and you can learn from anything if you would stop judging. Ow. But that's another day. That is another day. Jessamine, these nuts. Yes, I know. There's actually a whiskey called These Nuts. Don't ask me questions because I've never tried it, but I've seen it on the shelves. These Nuts. Like literally, that's the name of the whiskey. And I said, Lord, these nuts. And people buy it because it's called These Nuts. I just, listen, it's just funny to me. But when you go out there in the world today, know this, you can learn from anywhere. You can learn from anywhere. Your first teacher is Mother Nature. Oh, yeah, she sure is your first teacher. She'll teach you real quick. You better put a hat on. You better put some long sleeves on in this heat. Mother Nature is your first teacher. But you've got to be willing to learn, right? But we get so caught up in the judging of something. Don't judge it. Ugh. Don't judge it. Learn and become. Become that which you decide to be. Because you know the outcome, right? You know the outcome of rehearsal is what? Playing it out. So the next time you hear somebody tell you, you better know your role. Know your role. Stay in your lane. Seems like nonsense. But if you took that to heart to stay in your lane, what is your lane? Well, how are you going to know your lane if you don't know you? But you know what? Hmm. Stay in your lane. Not just for the crazy driver in front of you or behind you, but don't be like me yesterday. You sitting at a light. It's green. You look like you want to turn, but you don't have your indicator on. So I help you out. I leaned on my horn and I said, move, bitch. Oh, yes, I did. You don't want to drive with me. Oh, my God. Yes, I did. Because I just cannot handle the madness. It is hot outside. I don't have AC in my car. You clearly have AC. So you want to dilly-dally in these streets? No. Let's go. Let's go, people. Anyhow, you know I love you, eh? Uh-oh. Boucher. Hello, Boucher Trappin'. I see you. Welcome to the space, darling. Boucher. I don't know what Boucher means, but I'll make it sound good for you. You know who I didn't see today? I didn't see my darling Ursula. But I did meet a man yesterday whose wife's name is Ursula. Because I do believe she's Russian, yes? So it's spelt that way. You are Z instead of you are S. Ursula. Oh, my word. Boucher, it's not that I'm a Ludacris fan, but it's just that the song sometimes fits, right? If listen, if the cap fits, if you Jamaican, right? Because that's what they tell you, if the cap fits. And you know how they say a hit dog will holler. Well, that sounds like nonsense. A hit dog will holler. Well, of course it will. But the person who takes offense to what you say, allegedly, that is the hit dog. So this is why I say you got to learn to pick sense from nonsense. Look, I got to go. Okay. I love you all. And it's a long weekend for us. Oh, yes, it's a long weekend. Allegedly, it is Labor Day. Hmm. Wasn't it better to call it take a break from Labor Day? But who I don't make these days up. But anyway, I'm going out for dinner tonight with my son. He wants Korean food. So we going. He's like, Ma, it was so good. I said, yes, it is. We're going to get some. He said, because we shouldn't have to cook every day, Mother. And I was like, oh, how quickly we learn we shouldn't have to cook every day. But anyway, life is beautiful. Hold that beauty within yourself, and you will see the beauty outside. Why will you see the beauty outside? What will cause you to see the beauty on the outside? Because you project it there. The fragrance from that flower is not on the outside. The fragrance is emitted from the flower. So you be the flower. What flower are you? But that depends what you smell like when you bloom. Oh, what's your behavior then? You see? Pick sense from nonsense. Anyhow, y'all, let's frolic and have a good time today. Put on your favorite song and dance to the music. Because that always helps me. Because I'm going to have my jam bumping in my ears today. I love that song. You're a diamond in the rhinestone world. Dallas Smith. He's Canadian, allegedly. I'm like, how are you Canadian and singing about Mississippi? But you know what? Do you, boo-boo? Do you? I know the song is fire. It is. So that's what you do. Begin to make the habit in your life of peacefulness, of happiness, of ease. You got to make that a habit so that you will always go back to it. That's what you do, my friends, my beautiful friends. Listen, you know I could stay and talk all day, but we're not. Oh, my mother just sent me something. My mother always sends me a message every morning, every single morning. She sends me scripture every day. You gotta love your mother. You know, at least that's what I say. But anywho, I didn't tell you, but Lil Bit's personality has changed. Well, you know what? That's not true. His personality has not changed. I'm just seeing it for the first time because he's in a different environment. Now, he's always with the girls. So now he is very protective of the girls. So if I get too close to his broody hen, he talking about, I'm coming for you, and he's hopping all over the place trying to get to me. I said, how could you? He's never done it before because he's never been in that situation. So I'm just beginning to see what he really is. And I still love him because I'll still snatch him up and kiss him anyway. He can't stop me. He does try, though. He'll peck you real good. But that doesn't mean I stop loving you, because he's so sweet. And I just say, look at how protective he is. And he will share his food with the girls. Oh, yes, he does. I said, oh, my, what a gentleman. That's my gentleman rule. Yep. You see, we learn every day, don't we? Yes, we do. So now I got to walk with a blanket so I can snatch him up if he tries to come for me. I said, no, sir. I picked him up last night. I looked him in the eye and I said, how could you, little bit? How could you? Yes. Anyhow, I love you. You got the crazy cat lady, and now you got the crazy chicken lady, allegedly. I'm not crazy. Anywho, countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2. Ni hao. I see you, Ray Ray. Ni hao. Yes. 1. Go forth and know that you can learn from anything without judgment. Much love to you all. Mwah.